It's time now for Anderson Speedway's Track Talk. Catch up with everything that's going on at Anderson Speedway with Rick Dawson and Gary Mong.
Welcome to Track Talk. Rick Dawson, Gary Mong. We are at the Mounds Mall Special Event Studio on Tuesday evening, depending upon when you're listening to us. We have a busy show this evening.
For a busy week.
We have a driving star.
Yes, we do.
We're getting ready to talk to him here in a few minutes.
Yes.
Before we get to that, we have a big weekend coming up this weekend. Of course, it's the big Stoops Freightliner Redbud 300. The entry list is stellar, and we'll talk a lot about that through the show. But real quick, let's recap Saturday night. Great crowd on hand, considering the weather threats and everything around.
That seems to be the norm this summer, doesn't it?
It is. Car count was a little bit down, and I think some of it had to do with the weather. Still not sure why the rest of it, but we did have some great racing. Sometimes people say, well, there isn't that many cars there. Well, what are you there for? To see a lot of cars or great action?
The ones that were there put on some great action.
Great racing action.
It was.
And
it was.
It was good. The late model race was certainly good. I got to watch most of it. Jeff Markham set fast time. Robbie Allman won the first heat, and Dave Duncan won the second heat, and then the feature was really exciting.
It was really good. Robbie Allman was leading the pack for most of the race, and what a battle behind him between Jeff Markham, Jack Dawsey III, and I believe Dave Duncan was actually in that mix as well.
Yeah. And
then I can't remember what lap it was. You'll have to help me over there because you got it over in front of you there. When Robbie Allman
27.
When Robbie Allman's car let go in turn 3 there, and that kind of mixed up the field a little bit. And with the restart there, that kind of put Jeff Markham then got the point at that point.
Yeah, and Jack Dawsey III was on the outside of him, and that just didn't work out. When Jeff Markham and Robbie Allman get out front, it's really hard.
It's hard to get around them.
And because sometimes they don't pick a lane. But Jeff Markham and Danny Trent was actually able to get around Jack Dawsey III.
Danny Trent, yeah, he was in the mix. I forgot.
They all had fast cars. It's a great race.
It was.
And congratulations to Jeff Markham. Street Stocks, Josh Poore, champion of the Street Stock division, was fast time. Jeff Hopkins actually won the heat race. And Josh Poore won the feature. I didn't get to see any of that.
Josh had to work for this one, though. This one wasn't a gimme because Tyler Marsh, I'm trying to think.
Willie Dehart.
Willie Dehart. Those guys were actually battling up in front of Josh for the longest time there. And then Tyler got I can't remember on that one, Rick, if he got squirrely or whatever, and they got around him. But anyway, Josh was able to take on the win, but he definitely worked for this one.
And Andrew Cook was fourth, and Jeff Hopkins was fifth. And welcome back, Missy Baginski. Raced the familiar 94.
Yes, she
finished in sixth place. Thunder Roasters, Dave Osborne driving for Doug Duggar. Set fast time. Set fast time. And in the feature, did they not have a heat race?
They did have a heat race.
It's not on here.
Yeah. And I want to say John Robbins won the heat race. No, he didn't. Brad Kendall won the heat race. Yes.
Good. And John Robbins won the feature. Hart's figure eights. Jeff Swinford pretty much swept the evening.
Yes.
Fast time. Won the heat and won the feature with Nick Warner and Bruce McFall right behind him. Brucey's having a pretty good year.
He's having a pretty good year, and he's still in that red familiar number 93. So yes, I mean that old car. I don't know how long he's had that thing, but it's still going. It's been through a lot of hits and a lot of different things that's happened to it, but it's still out there, still running.
Well, we have a big week coming up.
This
is one of the big ones at the Speedway. If you like late models, Anderson Speedway is the place to be this weekend, both Friday and Saturday night. Friday night we have the JEGS All-Star Tour, the CRA JEGS All-Star Tour coming in, along with the CRA Sportsman cars.
Right.
The JEGS race is 100 laps, and the Sportsman race is 75. Should be a lot of great action on Friday night. The gates open at 4, and we race at
7:30 on Friday night.
7:30 on Saturday.
Well, Friday nights, according to my schedule.
Well, I would tell you, but this computer that I'm looking at
just went blank on you.
Is crap.
Yeah. That was a kind way to say it.
Yeah. But anyway, check our website.
Yes.
It's got all the times and the information. Great racing. I believe we have a Super Series practice in the afternoon.
Yes.
So all the drivers that are going to race in the Redbud 300 will probably be there Friday afternoon. Thursday evening, we have an open practice for late models only. The pits are going to be really crowded.
Yes, they are, from 5 to 8 Thursday evening.
So there'll be a lot of late models there. Thursday night, we did get some rain yesterday, and it didn't flood it like it did the last time, but we do have some water in the back of the pit, so it's going to be a little tricky.
Yeah, but we'll
get them in.
Make them in. We'll make it work just like we always do.
But we have an entry list like no other. I mean, we always get a lot of good drivers for the Redbud, but this year, and thanks to our good friends at Stoops Freightliner for making this possible.
Oh, absolutely.
It is
yes.
the second leg of the
Triple Crown.
The CRA Triple Crown. Berlin Raceway had the first one. Erik Jones won that.
Yes.
We're the second, and the Redbud 300 is
the second leg of the Triple Crown.
Right.
Then the Winchester 400 will be the third.
Isn't it strange how you're just looking at a computer and all of a sudden your brain goes to mush?
It went blank just like your mind went blank just like the screen did.
You can go ahead and say something.
Okay. Well, anyway, we are the second leg of the Triple Crown, and the person that won the first race in the Triple Crown will be there to try to make it 2 in a row.
Yes,
as far as the Triple Crown.
We just got this confirmed yesterday. Erik Jones, who we're going to talk a lot about here in the next few minutes, is entered in the race, and it's a real fascinating story, and it just shows this young man's dedication to racing.
Absolutely.
And we'll be talking to him in a second. On Friday, to clarify everything, the practice starts at 4:30, and I guess the features do start at 7:30.
Okay.
So you were correct.
Okay.
And the race does start at 7:30 on Saturday, the Redbud 300. And don't forget, on Saturday, this one's unique. We have on-track autograph session on Saturday night. But let's take a few minutes now to talk to a good friend and a great young man and a
great race driver.
You can't even say an up-and-coming star because he's already there.
He's there.
Our good friend Erik Jones is on the line with us. Erik, how are you doing this evening, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing good. We're just working away on this car to try to get ready for this weekend.
Yeah, it looks like
Good.
You guys have been really busy. You pulled it out of storage. This is actually your car.
Yeah, it is. I was trying to put some other stuff together beforehand, and none of it quite panned out. So we ended up going and getting my car out of the storage unit. It was in Sunday, and been hammering to put it together here the last few days. And we're pretty close now. We're actually getting ready to go to get it set up, and should be ready to go by tomorrow afternoon.
Whose car did you race in Berlin when you won the race up in Berlin?
I was actually driving one of Port City's house cars up there.
Okay.
I think it's real interesting how you put this all together and how it came about to use your car and who you got helping you.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. We were kind of just hanging out at Kentucky last weekend for the truck race, and our practice day got rained out, so we were just kind of hanging out in the hauler, and I was talking to Rudy, my crew chief there, about how I couldn't find anything, and I couldn't believe that we couldn't get anything put together. And he said, well, why don't we just go and get your car out of the storage unit, and we'll get some guys together and make it happen. And at that point, I started making a list of everything I could need and use, and I'm renting a few things from KBM to take up there as well to kind of supplement the rest of the team. So it should be good. It's a lot of my truck guys that go out on the weekends with me every week, and a few late model guys from KBM as well. So I think it's going to be a pretty good mix of people, and I'm definitely looking forward to getting up there.
Well, I really appreciate I read the press release, and I really appreciate what you said. you are obviously in the running, and the only one that can win the $100,000 Triple Crown bonus this year was CRA. But that isn't the only reason that you decided to come to Anderson. You enjoy racing here, although your success hasn't been great, and I think it's become somewhat of a challenge.
Yeah, I do enjoy racing there. The results just haven't been there for me. So hopefully this will be the time that we can turn it around, and I definitely feel like this is the best shot for me to go and get a win there. And, it should be interesting. I think this is probably the toughest track on the 3 legs of the Triple Crown. So if we can knock this win out, I'd be pretty excited. But, no, I'm excited to get back to Anderson, and it's been a while since I've been there. I think it was 2013 last time I was there, and ended up getting crashed out. But hopefully we'll make all 300 this time and at least be in contention for a win.
Well, I've had several of your colleagues that's actually raced there while we've owned the track, and some of the older ones from before, and they've told me if you can conquer Anderson, you can conquer any racetrack that you race on, and that's definitely, I think, it's a testament of patience and luck.
Yes.
I think more than anything, and good driving skills, which you obviously have. I need to ask you, and I can't tell you, it's one of your fans, I think, or somebody had me ask you if you were bringing Oscar with you.
No, I'm not going to.
You'll know. I don't know who that was, but you might be able to figure it out.
Yeah, I think I could figure that out.
Tell us a little bit about, you had a great weekend last weekend down at Kentucky, and I got so frustrated at the end of that truck race on Friday night because I think they, in my opinion, you can't say it, but they could have finished that race, and I think you had it. Tell us what it was like last weekend. Tell us about your experience at that level of racing.
Yeah, that's, it was a good weekend, but at the same time, it's frustrating when you're that close on both days, 2 days in a row in 2 different series. So, it's just disappointing when you look back and see how close you were really to getting that sweep there for those 2 races. And obviously in the truck race, I felt like we were really fast and had Tundra that could go up and win the race. Just circumstances didn't let us finish the race, which was unfortunate. I wish we could have another shot. We got a poor restart, and the 88 got a good push from the 29 and got by us. But we were working on passing them back when the red flag came out. But, Friday night in the Xfinity car, just another kind of circumstantial thing and poor luck or poor positioning on my part, either one. Got us stuck behind the lap car in a bad spot, and Brad was right with us and ended up passing us. And we didn't quite have the speed to go up and get him back. But, it's definitely good to be running that well. I'm not disappointed in any means by our performances in either race, but it's just been fun. I've been learning a lot all year with as many races as I've had in the top 3 NASCAR series, and it's cool to get that experience and really to race with some of those guys.
It's a learning experience until you retire at that level. I know you've got a great association with Kyle Busch. Has he given you any pointers on this weekend? I know he's raced with us a couple of times, and he's won the race.
I have, yeah. I was talking to Kyle and his dad about Anderson and what they thought. Been getting some advice from them, not only on driving but setup stuff as well. And it's been interesting to hear from him on what he remembers about the place. And it was I think 2009 when they went there, I want to say.
Yeah,
so,
that sounds right.
It's been fun to hear from him about it. It's always fun to talk to Kyle about late models. Him and I kind of share that passion for going back and running them, so it's always fun to kind of have a conversation about it.
Yeah, that's
cool. Yes.
Yeah, I envy you so much in what you're doing, and especially at your age. You're sitting here talking to these old fogies, and they like to talk about the past. But I equate you with somebody you can get. Getting in a getting in a Camping World truck on one day and then an Xfinity Series car on the next. They're two different beasts, and being able to go from one to the other. I mean, I can remember Mark Martin and
Yes.
several others that used to be able to do that, but not everybody can, and I think it takes a special talent. Is what goes through your mindset? I mean, you just have to kind of just divorce yourself from the truck when you get in the Xfinity car, or how do you do that?
Well, it's definitely a challenge, and I think it's just kind of a sense of, me equating it to, I'm going to drive this as hard as I can and to its limits and find its own abilities and not try to compare it. If I get out of the truck and get in the Xfinity car, I'm not going to try to compare to the truck, for the limits of the car. I just go and find the new limits for that. So that's how I kind of always approach it, and just, making sure the differences in your cars. What's different shocks, what's different for springs, what's different for motor, what's different aerodynamically, what's the changes going to equate to in driving style. So that's just kind of some of the things that I try to keep in my head and for going and swapping in and out of cars, and even getting in a late model again this weekend, just kind of remembering, okay, what's different about these cars, getting that mindset for what's different about a late model and how to go run one of those again.
Yeah, real quick, I want to ask a question here. Your background, where did you start racing? Where was it at, and what kind of cars did you start racing in?
I started racing in quarter midgets up in Michigan, right about 40 minutes from my house where I grew up.
Okay.
You're actually a very lucky young man, too, in my eyes, because you've got an association with one of the few people that I just totally idolize and respect and learn a lot from, even at a distance, and that's Mr. Gibbs, Joe Gibbs at excuse me, Joe Gibbs Racing. Have you recognized how valuable his advice and influence is? Can you see a change in even yourself because of it?
Yeah, I would say so. I talk to Coach quite a bit, at least once a week, and before and after every race, and it's always nice to hear his perspective and his side of things. And he's been around for obviously a lot longer than I have, and not only in racing but in football as well, which is, it's cool to hear his perspective from that side of things too, because it's so much different than racing. So he's been able to help me, I think, a lot, as a person, and how to deal with some of the things and some of the trials and tribulations in the sport. And it's been pretty valuable for me. So to have that kind of voice, in your head talking to you about how to handle some of these things is, something I wanted and something he can provide. So it's been really fun getting to know him and growing a relationship with him, and it's pretty cool to have a guy like that in your corner.
You're very
right.
Very lucky, and absorb all of his wisdom that you can get on that one. That's coming from just a piddly little old track owner in Anderson, but I tell you, I know a lot of those folks up in that level, and he'll lead you the right way. Erik, I appreciate you taking the time this evening. I know you got another obligation. We are looking forward to seeing not only you but your whole family and crew this week at Anderson Speedway, and I know the fans are too.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me on.
All right.
Thanks.
You have a great evening. Thank you, Erik. Erik Jones.
Looking
Amazing.
forward to it,
the
yes.
kid is going to the top.
He
Trust
is.
me.
He
Him
is.
and Chase Elliott
And
Ryan Blaney.
and
Follow them.
And our defending champion of the Redbud 300, who will be there as another up-and-comer.
Be Daniel Hemrick.
Absolutely.
We better
Yes.
step aside real quick, and we'll go through the rest of this entry list. You're listening to Anderson Speedway's Track Talk.
Heart attack, stroke, serious injury. A sudden health crisis can happen to anyone at any time. So when bad things happen, choose good people. St. Vincent Anderson Regional Hospital has the area's most advanced emergency care, with a state-designated Level 3 trauma center, an internationally accredited chest pain center for heart attack patients, and advanced certification for primary stroke care. We have all the resources to deliver the care you need for any serious or life-threatening emergency. St. Vincent Anderson Regional is the only emergency department in the area with an on-site helicopter. And our $27 million state-of-the-art surgery pavilion opens later this year. Bad things can happen to anyone. Thankfully, good people are ready to help. Choose emergency care from St. Vincent Anderson Regional, the spirit of caring. Visit stvincent.org/Anderson Regional to learn more.
Johnny, stop! Oh my gosh, that's Diggity's back there.
You mean the new Diggity's Frozen Treat Factory?
I heard it's unbelievable. Everybody's talking about it. They have everything yummy.
Yeah, I heard they have ice cream, yogurt, custard, sorbet.
And gelato, plus fruit smoothies, and that's just the beginning.
I heard Diggity's has over 250 toppings, not 30 or 40 like those other places, and you can even get the candy to go separately.
We can eat outside on their huge patio by the fire, too.
Okay, let's see. Frozen yogurt, ice cream, custard, sorbet, and gelato with 250 toppings? Or a plain old frozen yogurt shop with limited toppings?
Diggity's it is!
Diggity's wants to cater your event. Diggity's can set up at your event inside or out and provide delicious smoothies, frozen cappuccinos, candies, and frozen treats to your guests. Diggity's is perfect for weddings, company picnics, group outings, sporting events, festivals, you name it, just call Diggity's. 765-393-0033 today for more information.
MoFab Incorporated, where imagination is the only limitation. We serve residential, commercial, industrial, and municipal customers as your metals warehouse and fabrication center. We do all types of fabrication using the latest technology with unmatched speed, accuracy, and durability on any substrate. Our ornamental division handles all types of interior and exterior work, including rails, fences, gates, and more. So contact us at mofabbing.com to fabricate your dreams of tomorrow today.
You won't believe these deals? They're too good to be true. You cannot miss this special. We're going to give you so much off, you won't believe it. Actual mileage may vary. Price does not include tax, title, and license. Some assembly required. Batteries not included. Objects in the mirror are closer than they appear. Keep in a cooler place. It is highly unlikely that any sentiments expressed above in any way coincide with those of it.
Wait, what'd they just say? At Auto Farm McCrocklin Ford in Middletown, we're not here to give you fast-talking deals. We take the time to make sure you understand what you're buying to make sure it meets your budget. If you're at Auto Farm McCrocklin Ford in Middletown, you're at the right place.
This program is a presentation by Anderson Speedway. The content contained in this program is that of the host and guests, and not this station.
Wow. I'm stumped.
Wow, Wade, we can't guess that one. That gives me a rush.
It doesn't give you a rush.
We're back. Anderson Speedway's Track Talk. Rick Dawson, Gary Mong. Just got off the phone with
Erik Jones.
Erik Jones, who will be competing this Saturday evening at Anderson Speedway. Fresh off of 2 runner-up finishes at Kentucky Speedway in the Camping World Truck Series and the Xfinity Series with NASCAR. This young man is in the Joe Gibbs development program, and look for him to go a long ways.
Absolutely.
Along with several others here. Now, before I get into this stellar lineup, 2 or 3 years ago, I took a picture under the hospitality tent with a few drivers. I don't know what prompted me to do it, but I have a picture which I'll treasure forever with Chase Elliott, Ross Kenseth, and Ryan Blaney. And something just told me to take those pictures because them young men are going somewhere. They were all competing in the Redbud 300. And look where all 3 of them are today.
Right.
And in this field, there's any one of these, I think 25 or 26 drivers that are entered right now that could be there. Now, some of them, granted, have a few more years on them.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean they're any less qualified.
That's right.
I mean, you go down this list, Dalton Armstrong, his brother, Dakota. Raced a lot at Anderson Speedway. He's now in an Xfinity Series car on his way to the Sprint Cup. Dalton's racing, had a lot of success in open wheel, and has really come on his own this year in the late model.
Yeah, he ran the JEGS Series, didn't he?
Yes, and he's also entered in
the Redbud.
In the Redbud.
Good.
Donnie Wilson from Oklahoma, who almost won this race a couple of years ago and had a late race incident, is coming. Of course, Erik Jones. Daniel Hemrick, who has the defending champion, is now full-time riding the Camping World Truck Series with NASCAR. He's coming back. Young men like Hunter Bays and Paul Schaefer, Mark Lambert from Noblesville, another young man that can get into about any vehicle and make it fast. Jack Dawsey III, I'm telling you folks, watch this young man. He's going places. Of course, we got veterans. Eddie Van Meter, Rick Turner is going to be back. Bubba Pollard from Florida, one of the best late model and accomplished drivers in the country, is coming up. We've got Jack Smith, from Ohio that is always tough. Who else? We got Trent Snyder and Ross Kenseth, champion of the Redbud 300. Yes. He's coming back, and guess what? He drove an Xfinity car too, and has a pretty popular last name. But Ross is making a name for himself. Something. He's not been doing a lot with the Super Late because he's been concentrating on his other stuff. But these guys all think highly enough of the Redbud 300 that they want to come back and tackle it, even after they won it. It looks really good on your resume if you can do it. Of course, it's going to look really good in Erik Jones's pocketbook if he happens to win it, because it's the second leg of the Triple Crown. Yes. Just by winning 2 of them, that's $10,000 plus the $10,000 to win.
Right.
He could go home with at least $20,000
and position himself to take it all this fall.
And which would make the Winchester 400 really interesting. Remember when Johnny Van Dorn a couple of years ago almost won it?
And if I remember, Erik has won the last 2 Winchester 400s, hasn't he?
I think so.
Yeah. So
he's also won the Snowball Derby.
Yes, he has.
So his roots are with super late models, although he's proving that just carries on into NASCAR.
Absolutely.
So I better quit bubbling on him, but I'm so proud of these young men, all of them, especially Chase and all. If you remember right, the first year we owned the track was 1997. Do you remember who sat on the pole of the Anderson 400 that year?
Was it Jimmy Johnson?
It was.
Jimmy Johnson. And look at who's won it.
He didn't go very far, did he?
He's only won the Sprint Cup 6 times now, champion.
The Mark Martin, the Waltrips, the Wallaces, Dick Trickle, Kenny Schrader.
Yes.
I mean, all these guys have came through Anderson.
They sure have.
In this race. And it's been several years ago, but I forget what magazine. It was one of the national racing publications rated us in the top 10 tickets in the country for this race. And we were actually second at the time to, I forget what it was. It was either Daytona or Bristol or someplace. We were actually ahead of Bristol.
Right.
I forget, and I don't know how they do those polls.
And I think because it's those amazing finishes that we have. They've been outstanding.
3 wide.
Yes.
2 wide. It seems like the not last year but it was like 20 laps before the finish last year. But the years before that, the last corner.
Yes, absolutely.
And
amazing.
And they are amazing. The guys really want to win this race.
Real quick, this is the 49th running of this race. Next year will be huge.
Wow.
49 years. 1967 the race started, and the first 2 years, Rick, the race was sanctioned by ARCA.
Yep, I did know
1967, 1968. So we're running the 49th running of this event.
You can go to our website and get all the ticket information. Get your tickets before Friday, and you can come to both races for a discounted price. Or if you're just coming Saturday night, you can get a discount on the Saturday night ticket. But all the early bird discounts end Thursday evening after practice is over. Right. So come out and there's all kinds of deals. Come out Friday night especially. You're going to see some great racing action.
All late models this weekend.
And then come out Saturday early. Get there early. We're going to have a big crowd. Get a good parking place. Come in. Enjoy the festivities.
Weather's looking good.
And the on-track interviews. It's going to be warm.
Yep.
But we'll have
That's all right.
We'll have plenty of water and soft drinks and adult beverages available for everybody.
Absolutely.
And we're going to have one great night of racing. Thanks to our good friends at Gerald McCombs and the whole group out at Stoops Freightliner. They really get into this race. Hospitality tends to be full.
And rightfully so.
And before we go, we need to say hi to Aunt Jenny.
Hi, Aunt Jenny.
As excited as we get about things, we don't forget about
Aunt Jenny.
We hope you have a great week. We're looking forward to seeing you this weekend at Anderson Speedway. Don't miss it. For Gary Mong, I'm Rick Dawson. We'll see you at the racetrack.